Number one, again, as media, do we put too much stock in the matchup game come the postseason? And number two, your thoughts on Ryan O'Reilly. So we put up the line configurations the last segment. It looks like he's going to start on line two, if you want to call it that, aside, from John Tavares and Nylander there, as you see on your screen. But how much stock should we put into this? Could it change from game to game, venue to venue, right? You start the first two in Toronto, then you go to Tampa. The matchup game maybe becomes a bit bigger when you have last change, right?
Yeah, it's nice having last change because you get that luxury of putting the guys you want out against their players. You get that choice, and that's one of the advantages of home ice, obviously. And you're going to lose that moving around. And looking back at all the mix up and jumbling of the lines and everything like that Sheldon Keefe has done all year. Going into the playoffs, and say you do move guys around when you go down to Tampa, all of a sudden it's not that big of an adjustment, right? All of a sudden these guys are used to it, and there's familiarity there, and all of a sudden there's method to the madness. So if that's the case and they do mix things up, I think this group will be able to adjust accordingly and not be thrown off of it. And you look at that top line, Bunting, Matthews, Marner, you're trying to rekindle some of the magic that they've had in the past where they're actually clicking and firing on all cylinders, and Bunting needs to elevate his game to be able to find the magic with those two players. And it'll be an interesting game one, and we'll see what they do. Here's the lineup and see how it goes. And it's obviously going to depend on how everything happens. I mean, they could change the lineups for game two in Toronto just as easily as well. So it's nice that they have the familiarity of playing with everyone else and being on different lines, that it's not going to shock the system if they do make a change.
I tell you, what horns me up is having that O'Reilly guy, man. Just the pedigree, 2019 Conn Smythe Trophy winner. And just from a matchup standpoint, right? Like, we know what he can do offensively, but I think he's very, very underrated defensively. And I wonder if he's like the root of everything when it comes to the matchup game. Whoever plays against Kucherov or Point or Stamkos or takes that big face-off, I think everything's going to revolve around Ryan O'Reilly. Am I wrong in making that assessment?
No, I think so. I mean, a Conn Smythe winner and Frank Selke trophy winner. I mean, he's got the pedigree in spades, and you put him out there, and when you watch the game and when he's out there, he's almost like I don't want to say the dad, because that makes you think of kind of this crusty older guy at the end of his career, but he's just got this leadership quality of follow me, jump on my back. I'm going to take care of things. It's not all about me. It doesn't mean he's scoring the fanciest goal, but he's just doing all the right things out there, breaking up their plays, making plays happen down low. He's just kind of does it all. And it's that reliability that I think he's going to be a force in these playoffs, and why he's such a huge addition to the Leafs, and why everyone was so thrilled when we did get him, I think is going to pay dividends here coming up this next week.
He's such a security blanket. I could not echo that narrative and that mindset anymore. And so excited to see Ryan O'Reilly play in a playoff game for the Toronto Maple Leafs.